ready to be done. No, I love this. I love this show.
I'm so sick of things. I'm sick of sick.
Fired up
Just
the
push
button.
the button yet.
Pushed it.
Really? Oh, there it is live. I see it
Oh my
live.
god, we're live
Wow, look at
and
that.
in color.
In living color.
Wow.
What?
That was a timely reference.
And welcome to Men on Film.
There are parts of that show that I'm sure don't hold up very well
I
either.
look at movies from a male point of view.
Yeah, probably not.
2 snaps and a
Mr. Moby was a whale. Well, I should hope so.
But that's an interesting perspective of like, we have to start with putting the stereotypes on TV and then we can put the actual on TV, like, because we're not ready for the actual. I don't even know. It's too deep.
I think here's the thing. I think that there is some merit to that, but it depends on what the what the representation, what the quality of the representation is.
Hey, Long Duck Dong got the girl.
If you're kind of wondering what we're talking about, I guess you should join Patreon because this is a continuation of our before the show conversation.
John Hughes discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But rest assured, John Hughes is not Neil Gaiman, so.
Yeah.
No.
He's not yet.
No, stop it.
No, he's gone. I think if anything were going to come out, it would have
happened.
It would have happened. Yeah.
How old is Neil Gaiman?
Nice things to say about John Hughes, so.
Yeah, but also, how old is Neil Gaiman? I mean,
61.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Well,
but hey,
we're hearing rumors now that it wasn't out of nowhere, but people.
But just out of the limelight.
Out of the limelight, yeah.
Carol, I like your lip color today. It's
Thank
beautiful.
You. It's Notorious Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's from Lip Slut.
Notorious RBG.
That's right. I did not wear my Donald Trump. Maybe I'll wear that next week.
I guess the only consolation to RBG having passed away is she doesn't have to witness all of this.
Actually, truth be told, not to get political, I have a bit of a beef with her because she should have resigned when Obama was president. She really
Yes, she should have, so that he could have. Yes. Yep. I also agree with that as well. Anyway, yes.
Two are going to be dead here soon or retire, so
I don't like it matters anymore.
Yeah.
We're openly doing Nazi salutes now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we can bring a little joy to people's lives, right?
Hey, we can do that.
Let's do a podcast.
Sure.
Allow us to be your comedic fire extinguisher while the world is on fire.
That's right. While our president blames dwarves and epileptics for a plane crash.
I could not. I was like, are you kidding me?
Wait, did he say that?
Yes. The DEI initiative. Dwarves, epileptics, yeah.
And amputees.
And amputees.
Because apparently, being an air traffic controller is a Disneyland ride, and you have to be, yay tall to do it.
And oddly enough, white and male.
Although I believe it's come out that everybody involved in the crash was white cis male.
Except for one flight attendant, and I'm sure they're going to somehow pin it all.
There it is. There it is right there.
On that one flight attendant.
She was distracting everybody.
She burst into the cockpit. I'm sure she
demanded
burst
everybody
into the
look at me because I've earned your respect. And that's what happened.
Fucking pumpkin spice Palpatine.
Oh, yeah, but also somehow it turns out that there wasn't really enough staff in the tower. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or as I told someone,
people last week.
As I told somebody earlier today who was trying to defend this, like, why don't we wait till the head of the FAA says something about it? Oh, wait, they got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
So I guess we're waiting for the shoulders of the FAA to say something?
Something like that.
All right.
No, we didn't change the lineup. It's GRD Sweekly.
Gilbert was filling in.
It was one show. Things happen. Weirdness. GRD Sweekly episode number?
I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it.
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Hello to everybody. We're the fine
Oh,
folks
it still
from
says Jackbox.
What?
Welcoming you, the folks bringing to you tonight the lady who has a very simple request from me. That there is the Flintstress.
Can we not talk about sex so much?
I mean, the woman who has made her decision. It's the right thing. It's Carol the Cat.
Let's see, do I want it little or do I want it big? How about in between?
That's always the man who understands simply how the world works. That there's podcast user at Siegfried.
Is that disgraceful?
There's no way to make it sound like an achievement.
And I'm the guy who does not have an inflated ego. I'm the wonderful Billy Flynn.
As I explained to you before, I'm about the best there is.
Hey, what happened geekified this week, yo?
Oh, well, I mean, I've really had like a whole geeky month, if you will, since I missed last show. And, as much as I would have liked to weigh in on last week's topic, I think you guys covered it pretty well. And, there's no real future kind of things that have come out since then, etc. But stay alert, see something bad, say something, help others. Right?
Yes.
So, but my Geeky Week, the reason why I missed the show was I was at Disney World. Unfortunately, Billy Flynn didn't get to come with us this time, but I took the little geek and my mom and like a whole bunch of my other family, my brother and their kids, and we did Magic Kingdom. We did Epcot this time, which we didn't get to last time, and Hollywood Studios. And last time Mel was sick and missed Rise of the Resistance, but we took her on Rise of the Resistance and she thought it was the most awesome thing ever.
Cool.
Totally geeky too. Jen, I guess Engineered is what she goes by, convention friend, 3D printed us some Star Wars ears that were really cool. I got some good pictures in those. It was awesome. We stayed on property. I mean, it's just like you get in the Disney bubble and it's just like the whole rest of the world just doesn't exist. It was also like 75 degrees when it was like 19 degrees up here. So with an added benefit of like of just it was wonderful and magical. I also broke my single day step goal record, whatever, 30,000 steps at Epcot.
That tracks.
And that
Nice.
was the third day. That was after 28,000 at Hollywood Studios and like another 28,000 at Magic Kingdom. The only reason Magic Kingdom wasn't as much is because we finally figured out where everything is and we weren't like crisscrossing the park every time we had a lightning lane. So it was wonderful, though. We definitely, like I said, we got to do some things that we didn't get to do. We finally saw a parade. We saw the fireworks. We rode a bunch of rides. Mel actually rode some roller coasters. She rode Space Mountain.
Woo!
She doesn't like roller coasters that go upside down, but I think, honestly, because she couldn't see it, she couldn't psych herself out. She could just feel the G-forces and enjoy the speed without really having any idea what that ride looks like. And I think that's why she doesn't like outdoor roller coasters as much, because you can scare the crap out of yourself just watching everybody else on it. And most of the stuff at Disney is inside, except for we did Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which was really fun. That was a good kind of like mid-range coaster. And then there's like a kids coaster in the Toy Story world at Hollywood Studios that's based off of Slinky Dog from Toy Story, and that was really, really fun. That was her speed. Those are the things she just loves.
The kid may just be a dark ride fan. Nothing wrong with that.
She likes the inside ride. She likes not being able to see where she's going. And yeah, I was like, I could not believe that she still wouldn't go on. She doesn't like things that go upside down. So she wouldn't do the rockin' roller coaster, the Aerosmith one that they have. That's the only one really that goes upside down. But of course, because I had to make the lightning lane reservations like so far in advance and thinking, well, she doesn't like roller coasters or these super fast rides, I did not get Guardians of the Galaxy this time. And she probably would have gotten on Tron. I don't know. She probably would have loved it. But we're not going to Disney again anytime soon. Our next like big theme park trip is Universal when she's 11, which will be like next spring break, like spring break of 2026, I think, because then they're going to have the whole Mario Land. And 11 is when kids would get their like Hogwarts letters. So we'll do all like the Harry Potter stuff. And even though J.K. Rowling is problematic and stuff, but we'll do some of that.
I'm sure there'll be an executive order. Kart. I'm sure there'll be an executive order soon saying that trans people just don't exist. So should be fine.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he already did that.
Orlando might not even exist. So who knows, right?
Congratulations, Rich. You and I are women.
Oh.
Yeah.
High five.
Everybody is.
Everybody's a
Yep,
woman.
everybody's a
High
woman.
five.
Everybody.
So I'm dressed for it.
Yay. Oh, good. Here I thought I shaved my legs for nothing.
No. You gotta do it right.
I'm a woman, not a feminist. There's a difference.
That's right.
Anyway. But yeah, and we were on a Skyliner this time, one of the resorts that's on that you can get to from like the sky buckets. And so that was really cool.
Nice.
And I actually talked Mel, she doesn't like loud noises. So she had her like noise canceling headphones and we were going to watch that. We could see the Epcot fireworks from the backyard of our resort. Like we were on the beach and we could see the Epcot fireworks.
Oh, wow.
But then I was like, oh, it would look really, really cool if we got on the Skyliner. And so we rode the Skyliner while the fireworks were going.
Wow.
And I actually one time was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we got stopped for a minute or two? And we did in like the perfect spot. I got some amazing pictures. Of course, though, when the finale was going off, we were in one of the train station turnaround things and we couldn't see the actual last part of it. But it was still really, really cool. And honestly, some of the best moments were those like quiet sort of in between moments where like sitting on a park bench with like the babies while the big kids went on a ride and just like watching them play with their like bubbler thing and just the immersiveness of Disney. Like you're walking around a galactic planet, right? Like far, far away. And like when the stormtroopers just came down the walkway, like my little cousins were Darth Vader and a stormtrooper for Halloween, not this year, but last year. But they've never seen Star Wars. They have no reference for any of it. They just liked the costumes or whatever. They were like, sure. The baby was Leia, the other baby was Yoda. They just did like a family group costume just to do it. But we were standing in line for Star Tours, and they changed Star Tours. It used to be all original trilogy Star Tours stuff. You walk through the AT-AT's legs to get on, the walker and all of that. And like they've changed the actual like ride video that it's now all the new
There's like 5 or 6 different ones. You see a different thing pretty much every time you go on it.
Oh, wow.
But all the posters when you got off were all newer planets, like Welcome to Naboo, and like all this other stuff. So we didn't ride it multiple times this time like we did last time, but I wonder if they even still have the original trilogy, videos in there at all. But Rise of the Resistance, that was really, really cool. And just all the food. We had Mickey shaped churro that was super good, and like Mickey shaped ice cream, and like if Disney could put it in a Mickey shape, it's in a Mickey shape. But it was very, very fun. It's expensive. It's a lot of walking. It's a lot. It's not for the faint of heart, but it was a good time with the family.
Nobody does live immersion like Disney, just hands down. Nobody does a live experience like Disney.
Right, and we
Star Wars Hotel.
right. Well, we did the Lightning Lane passes because it doesn't let you skip like the entire line, but sometimes it does, and sometimes it just like a little bit of a shortcut and cuts off most of it. But that means you have to be there for that like window of time. You get like 10:15 to 11:15, and you could use your magic band to get in like between that time. So there was a fair amount of like, oh, we gotta hustle because we gotta get to our thing. So it wasn't very chill, but like one of the things that I really like about Disney is that they take the time to have different things in the line to make the line almost part of the ride. So it's not like you're just standing and you're going through like your crisscrosses. Like they have like 40 people and you go into a room and there's like an experience, and then you go out and you get in another line. And so they're very intentional with all of that, like even if you are waiting. But some of these, we're getting on these lightning lanes, like the Slinky Dog roller coaster that was like a little kid roller coaster, had a 110-minute wait. The ride was maybe 45 seconds long. And I was like, yeah. And there were people in the line. I would have been so pissed if I had waited over an hour, almost an hour and a half, almost 2 hours for that ride, and it's over in it was just crazy. So the extra whatever it was per day was definitely worth it to do that. Now we did not do the premier lightning lane. That's the one where it's like $350 a person for Magic Kingdom, but you can go on every single ride one time, anytime. So you could just start at the beginning of the map, ride this one, get off of it, ride this one, get off of it, ride this one, get off of it, and literally ride every single ride in the park one time if you wanted to. But $350 a person, that is just crazy. Crazy.
Nobody knows how to price the live experience like Disney.
Right. But for Epcot, it was like Epcot and Hollywood Studios, it was significantly cheaper. But there's just not as many rides and stuff to do. Hollywood Studios has a good number of rides. Epcot had a lot of the slower rides. But honestly, we really loved the old school one where you actually are inside the dome at Epcot. If you haven't been on that one, it's the what is it, Spaceship Earth. And it's all about the history of Earth, and you progress through and then you backwards down and you're in the future. There was just a lot of things to do. Like you get off the Nemo ride into like a real legit aquarium. And so there was just so much to see and do. But it was super fun. Let's see. Well, speaking of Star Wars, also on my list, we watched Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
So this had been on our list for a while, but we were trying to get Mel to want to watch it, and we finally showed her a couple of episodes and got her to watch it. And so we watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then I go out of town on like a girls' weekend, and I gave them permission. I was like, "Look, if you want to go ahead and just watch the whole rest of the show while I'm gone, that's fine." And they did. They binged it, and so then I binged it when I got back.
Episodes in a row. She's like, "Yeah, I'll keep going. Yeah, keep going."
And she's never like that with TV shows, and she just loved it.
Everybody has seen Skeleton Crew?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I haven't finished it, but I'm okay with you talking about it. It's
Wait.
okay. It's okay.
There's
I know.
Wonderful,
I know.
yeah, silly. If I'm finally done, there's this wonderful, silly moment where the kid's holding a lightsaber, and he turns the lightsaber on, but it's upside down, so it hits the ground and goes flying out of his hands. And she laughed her ass off at that. That was in the world for her.
I was in the middle of saying, "Wouldn't it be fun?" Bam, bam, bam. Oh, they finally did it. Oh, that show was so
I thought
freaking
Jude
good.
Law was pretty good in it too.
He was
I thought
amazing.
He was, This is his range of acting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Like, you're a Jedi, or are you? Right? Like, what does it mean to be a Jedi? Right? There was definitely some deeper stuff going on, and the whole like, as a parent watching it with my kid too, when you'll know what I'm talking about, and towards the end, and the dad goes, "Woohoo!" I was like, okay, that was kind of fun. And like when you can start to see the parents like trust the kids. Sorry, Carol, like that is definitely a spoiler.
No, that's okay.
But like,
I know your parents trust you. Sorry to bring that up. Oh my God, that's cruel.
Well, I mean, that means if she's not far enough along in that she doesn't know that they get
Oddly enough, Star Wars kind of has an upbeat ending. Go figure.
But when Neil died, it was so oh, sorry, Carol.
I said I didn't mind.
Now,
the Jar Jar cameo was quite subtle genius, I gotta say.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that on the Reddit.
Like, wow, the way you did that, I got kudos.
Top Gun.
Not even the right
actor.
time. Yeah.
Like Gungans don't live another 20-some years.
Okay? Yeah, exactly.
You're right. I have no idea about Gungan physiology.
No, you don't.
Darth Picard shows up.
That'd be pretty hilarious. So on my girls' weekend, we went to right outside. It was West Virginia, just on the edge of the Maryland, West Virginia line, to this little town called Berkeley Springs that has like a bunch of hot springs, so they're known for like spas and stuff. But my rich friend has a cabin out that way that's bigger than my actual house, but it was really fun. It had a fireplace, and it was there was still snow on the ground, so we kind of went for some like snowy walks, but mostly just kind of caught up. It was my friends from high school, and I just want to say, like, if you've sort of disconnected with your friends from your past, but you have an opportunity to reconnect with them, even if you think it's going to be awkward and weird, like you're not going to have anything to talk about, you'll spend most of your time like catching up, reminiscing about the good old days, which they must not have drank a bunch in college like I did, because they remembered like people's names and stuff. I was like, how do you remember all of this? But anyway, it was really fun. Oh, and a bat got in the house. Thankfully, not the night that I was there, I was there when we caught the bat, but I was never asleep when the bat was in the house, so I didn't have to get a rabies shot like my friends did. So yeah, well, just because if the bat was in the room with you and you were sleeping, technically it could bite you and you don't even know it.
Yeah, and you don't know it.
So everyone that was there Friday night had to get a rabies shot.
Had to get a rabies shot, which hurts and is not cheap.
Good trip.
Remember, folks, if there's any old friends of yours, you may be worried that's going to be a little awkward, and you may be reminiscing and stuff like that, but the worst thing that could happen is you need to get a rabies shot afterwards.
Wow. But they got the house after, like, the original owner had built it like 15 years ago, and it had this massive game room in the basement because they had built it for their grandkids. I mean, it had like a poker table, it had ping pong, it had foosball, it had a full pool table, 4 arcade video games, it had skee ball. Yeah. I was
Damn.
like, how? And it's in the middle of nowhere. No, I take that back. You get to the middle of nowhere and then you keep going because there was no satellite or, like, my phone. I have an iPhone for work, and it popped up a whole like, "Do you want to use satellite service?" There was nothing. I was like, "Damn! If I, like, my car broke down here, I would die."
It had a basement with a Necronomicon in it. It had everything.
It had everything.
Wonderful.
Well, speaking of creepy stuff, and thankfully a tree didn't fall down in front of my car or anything like that, because Billy Flynn and I he rewatched with me, and I am now caught up on the show From. Have you all heard of, as he talked about From? Carol,
He's
have you
talked
watched
about
From?
I haven't watched it, but he has talked about it. It's on my to be watched list, but my to be watched list is like
so good.
there are any vampires out there? Come bite me just so I can read all the books and watch all the television shows.
Right?
Okay, I don't really care about anything else. Just
just so you can stay up.
immortality.
You have to drink blood, but at least, yeah, you're right. Well, be careful, because immortality can have a price, right?
Yeah, but then I'll just walk out in the sun, and it's like, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah.
I've done the internet. I can walk outside.
Right. I've read everything that can be read. That would be a nice benefit. That's for sure.
Everything I wanted to.
Every season finale of From will have you going WTF. Every season finale.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those shows where it's like, for every question it answers, it brings up more, right? Like, you get like all these things, and then it's like, oh, but now here's a new character that is potentially a vital thing. And like, Flynn really wanted me to just watch the show so that he could tell me all of his theories about it.
I have a massive theory about this show.
So that when he's proven right down the road, he'll have the validation reflected back onto him from me being like, "Yep, you were right."
I've already told other people. I've got people I've been talking this show about for a while now. Yeah, no, my God, From is so good.
Yeah, and it's got like somebody from Lost. I don't remember the actor's name, but he plays the character Boyd. But most of them are completely unknown actors that I had never seen in anything else before. But it is gory. Sometimes I have to look away from the TV. Sometimes it's just a little too scary for me. But the whole kind of like, what the heck is going on, figuring it out piece is really very entertaining. I like it very much. And I have 2 more things on my list. Like I said, it's been a month since I've talked to you. I also finished season 7 of Outlander. I don't know if anybody else watches Outlander, but I just love it. I'll watch it. It's just like a guilty pleasure kind of show. I'm invested in the characters and the story, and they do a very good, if you liked the book, it's a very faithful adaptation. And I like that. When I like the source material and then they do a really good job of interpreting it in the movie or the television show. So, if that's not your thing, it's not your thing, but I enjoy the heck out of it. The costumes are all just wonderful, and the actors are great. And yeah, so Outlander, we got to waste. I think that the 8th season is the last season. I think she's done writing the books, so it's not like I make you watch it or anything like that. So,
but
I watched the season.
But
oh, that's right, I did have you watch a season.
When she's done with it, then you could go and you can watch with her Men in Kilts, which has
Lots of Men in Kilts.
But oh God, who was in it? Because I told you about it, Carol. It's the guy who plays Outlander, and then
Sam Hewen.
Yeah, and oh my God, he's Graham McTavish.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
And they
go around and they like drink whiskey and
Mr. Dwalin.
They go around, explore and experience Scottish history. They are remarkably charming, and they're obviously very tight with each other. So they tease each other and stuff, but they have such appreciation for each other and everything. And they're both incredibly charismatic and charming, and they're usually wearing kilts. So I mean, it's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win, and it's a lot of fun. So, and it's nothing but positivity. So it's this really good kind of like good nightcap kind of a show.
I like that. Well, almost like a palate cleanser too sometimes with like, I don't always like to watch horror right before I go to bed. So having something kind of to take your mind off of it. I'll have to add that to our list. But our list is crazy. We're backlogged on so many other shows because of travel and also really trying to get through from. So I'll have a wider variety in my Geeky Week. I did want to end. Mel has gotten into some really cool graphic novels. So if you have a little geekling in your life, um, she's reading Travis Daventhorpe. The first one, Travis Daventhorpe for the Win. Travis Daventhorpe levels up. He's a relatively new comic artist who started in webcomics. Wes Molbash, well, Molbash is his name. And so he's got a bunch of fun stuff in that book. And then the other one, I don't remember the author's name. It's called Cleopatra in Space. So it's like ancient Egypt mythology, but she was accidentally transported to the future.
I
And
thought was
so
a
it's
Sandy
got a
Frank film when she first told me.
So
got
was
a
that
bunch
the
of
original source
sci-fi.
material
Sounds
for
like a Sandy
Cleopatra
Frank film.
2025 or 2035?
I thought that too.
There's a prophecy and the kids all have to solve it, and it's really cute. So if you have any other kind of like graphic novel recommendations, she's also really likes the Wings of Fire series. So those are always kind of fun. I like when I can actually stand her taste in books and music and stuff like that. So it's like we've gotten to a whole nother level of big kid life when she actually wants to read and watch things that are good quality. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you all for the extra time. That has been my geeky week.
Okay, I'll go next. My geeky week has been pretty mundane, quite frankly. TV wise, I've been rewatching things. If you follow me on Blue Sky, you know I'm slowly rewatching Star Trek the original series and writing haiku about each episode because I'm weird.
Mhm.
But hey, I'm coming up with some pretty interesting haikus. And then I started at the beginning again. Because I just love it. I'm watching Lower Decks, but I figured I'm not gonna watch the final season. I'm gonna start at the beginning and watch the whole thing. So I'm about halfway through. So
Yay.
it was just comfort food for me. That's mostly what I've been watching. I did watch a couple of movies. I watched Your Monster, which is either a romance about falling in love with the monster in your closet or falling in love with your inner demon. Either way, it's a really nice romance, and I loved it. 4 stars. I have a very mouthy cat. And then I watched Wolfman, the new one. It's okay. It's not terrible for a January release, but it's not exceptional for a January release. More info on that. We are doing a refried scenes. I put your birds on. Hush. We are doing a refried scenes for the Wolfman, and Wolfman. So we're doing 3.
Wow.
So I did rewatch the 2010 Wolfman, which is horrible. I don't know how they got that bad of a movie out of those characters, of those actors, but that's a bad film. And then I rewatched the 41,
which is great.
It's great. And then I watched Amelia Perez because the Oscar nominations were announced, and Amelia Perez got 13 nominations, and I tried to watch everything that's been nominated, at least in the major categories. I don't know how to feel about this film. I consider myself to be a trans ally. I think this is horrible representation.
Okay.
The story is about the head of a drug cartel that hires Zoe Saldana's lawyer to find him a sex change doctor so he can hide. And he has a sex change operation.
That's
becomes Amelia Perez, fakes his death, and look at your birds. Look at your birds. I put the birds on. Anyway, fakes his death. Selena Gomez plays his wife. Yeah, thank you, Rich. And 4 years later, he gets back in touch with his wife and kids, and they move in with him, thinking that she is his aunt. It's to me, it's like, I appreciate the fact that they had a trans actress portray this character, and that she is nominated in the actress category for the Academy Award. But I think it's horrible representation of both Mexico and the trans experience.
I want my Mexican trans people authentic.
So
It's the
granted, I'm
Taco
not
Bell of
trans,
trans people.
and I'm not Hispanic. So I just consider myself an ally. If I'm missing something, please let me know. But I judge this completely on the fact that it's a musical, and I'm just going to look at it as a musical, and it's a crappy musical because these songs are terrible, and I'm tired of musicals being made with non-musical people. I don't want to hear the auto-tune. If you're going to hire non-singers, just let them non-sing. Don't make me hear you twiddling with the knobs while they're singing, and I could literally hear that while they were singing.
That's no good. That's no good.
And the songs are like a minute long. It's not.
Wow.
Okay.
Why even do that?
I know. There were times where I was like, is this supposed to be a comedy? But then, no, Amelia Perez, who has changed her sex and is hiding, starts an organization to find missing people, people that the cartel have basically disappeared. And I'm like, but honey, you were part of that.
Right.
You're helping the people that you actually know where their people went because you disappeared them.
The aerial.
And there are other ways to change your appearance and alter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can have cosmetic surgery without having to have a sex change. And like that has to mean you would think that they would have alluded to the fact that maybe they had some latent like desire
They try
or
to.
feelings
They try to.
of
There's like
all
a
my life
song.
I felt like I should have been
Yeah.
a woman kind of. If they didn't have any of those kinds of feelings, then it's authentic.
They
Inauthentic.
try that, but it's
Yeah.
so just surface level. Like I want to smell like honey. I want to feel soft. Stuff like that.
There was the 1 minute song I like to dance backwards.
Yes. Yeah. It's like one little tiny snippet, and then I don't know. And then there's a moment where her wife, who's living with them with their two children, thinking that this is her late husband's aunt, says, "I'm getting married," because it's 4 years later.
You're right.
Her husband's dead. She's getting married, and Amelia's like, "Well, what about the kids?" And she's like, "Well, they're coming with me," and she gets very angry. And when she gets angry, she gets violent, and her voice drops really low. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck you."
Okay.
At that point, I almost turned the movie off.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this is getting so many award nominations. It's not the worst film of 2024.
It could. Oh wait.
Zoe
Well, I do
Saldana
know
saves
people
a
who
lot
have
of-
transitioned later in life who, like, when they're emotional, sometimes it's harder to, like if you haven't had any kind of like anything done to your vocal cords, right? If you were a male through puberty, right, and your voice is kind of lower, and you're working on an affectation or something for a more feminine voice, it's harder to keep that up when you're in an emotional state. I'm not making excuses for the film. I haven't seen it, but I just mean like I think the transgender experience is so hard to capture on film because it's so unique to the individual. It's so different for every person, and it's like it always ends up coming off two-dimensional.
Normally, if there's a movie that the Academy falls in love with, or awards people fall in love with, and I don't like, I at least recognize why it's nominated for awards. I don't like Avatar. I really don't like Avatar, either of them. But I understand why it was nominated for so many awards. And I didn't like, I kind of shrugged and went, but I got it.
It was visually stunning. Cinematography, maybe.
I don't like The English Patient. I thought the book was much better. But I understood why it was up for so many awards. This I don't understand. If someone out there, if you get it, if you like it, if you love it, if you understand, just
Academy people, justify it.
Let me know. I'm baffled. 2 stars.
Let's talk.
And that was mostly for the first song, which is like 35 seconds long, and it's all Zoe Saldana. The 2 stars are basically for Zoe Saldana, who's pretty much guaranteed to win Best Supporting Actress at this point.
Okay.
but I think that's mostly for her career rather than this particular role.
Yeah,
But
they'll
yeah,
do that sometimes.
the rest of the nominations were announced. There's really no wildly, surprising things. This one was
John
actually
Chu getting snubbed for Wicked.
For
That was, I
in
thought that
favor
he
of the
deserved.
director of Amelia Perez, incidentally, who is a Frenchman who doesn't speak English or Spanish, the two languages spoken in this film or sung in this film.
Huh.
Did no research on trans people at all, or Mexico. It was filmed in France. It doesn't portray Mexico well at all. It portrays Mexico the way certain groups in this country want to portray Mexico, which is you can't walk down the street without getting stabbed.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
I mean, do you think? I'm not like a conspiracy theorist, right, or any of that type of stuff. But is this so popular or getting all this popularity because of?
no,
I don't know.
I think
Hollywood isn't exactly known for aligning with like him.
no. This is another Green Book crash driving Miss Daisy situation.
Yeah.
This is Hollywood being woke.
Hmm.
Look at what we're doing. It's a whole story. And not realizing how it's coming across, or not even talking to the people who are affected by it. So, yeah, this is Hollywood being Hollywood. I always laugh when people say Hollywood's so liberal. No, the people involved in Hollywood are liberals, but the overall business is pure capitalism. Which reminds me, because you went to Disney and I just finished up a book. I will be bringing back Tea and Tomes next week, by the way, and discussing the books I read in January, including the one that I just finished called Disney War, which is about Michael Eisner's term in Disney. With all the backstabbing and
Yeah.
man, I thought Conclave was great with all of the backstabbing little dress-wearing cardinals. Man, this was corporate room backstabbing for 800 pages. But it was truly fascinating to me for some bizarre reason. But yeah, it's a business. They're in it for the money. And they probably thought, this is so woke, we're going to be so like loved by everybody. And I don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Other than that, I went to a local meeting of filmmakers and, had a little mix and mingle, and that was kind of interesting. And that was about it for my Geeky Week.
Okay.
That's pretty geeky.
Yeah. For me, I got moved up to dev on the dev team on the RP server that I play on, which is really cool. So I'm learning all kinds of stuff about how to fix things that are broken, and then apparently how to break things. So, fun fact, I've been told that if I do stuff on the dev server, it does not get up to live unless a dev pushes it. And if I do anything on the map, it's not going to have an effect because it's not put in the code, all that jazz. Well, I accidentally put an illegal working moonshine still right in the middle of a damn field. And we can't figure out how to get rid of it. So I did that.
Call it a scarecrow.
What's that?
Just call it a scarecrow.
You have some C4.
Yeah, no kidding. But that's the problem. I delete it, pops back. I move it, pops back. Anyway, when it comes to the real geeky stuff that I've been watching, Section 31. Has anybody else watched that yet?
I haven't yet.
It's on our list.
It's on my list.
We'll talk about it then. Of course, Severance is back, and
Severance is back.
Love it. Love it so much. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. After watching each episode, wait a couple days for new rock stars or Screen Crush to put out their breakdowns and like dive into it again. It's so good.
They decided to go ahead and just amp up the we're going to play with your mind this time.
100%. 100%. So definitely not going to talk about spoilers for that. But
Sorry.
no, that's all right. But that show is so good. I love it. I love it. So it's just like you were talking about earlier with From. Like, they'll answer a question maybe, but leave you with another question.
So they always keep coming back. And from what I have heard, apparently Severance is basically like the lead writer, the guy who created the story, sent it to Ben Stiller as a spec script. This was the first thing that he's ever written.
Wow.
And had made and stuff like that. And he was just like, hey, I was just wondering if I get some thoughts on this, what you think about it and stuff like that. And now we have this wild, crazy, wacky, fresh show, which I love. And then not particularly geeky, but kind of geeky because of who's in it. I've actually been going back and watching for the first time Boston Legal.
Oh, yeah.
Been on a weird kick of...
Great.
Yeah, exactly. Been on a weird kick of wanting to watch James Spader be his creepy, slimy competence porn. Just seem.
Do you watch Blacklist?
Well, there were some clips on Blacklist, and I was watching those, and I'm like, God, he's such a cool character. He's so good at this. And then I was like, wait a second. There was that one show that did that lawyer show, and I like unique lawyer shows. I was like, let me see if that's even around, if it's online anywhere, and Hulu has it, and started watching Boston Legal. And oh my God, that show is actually really good. Mostly holds up. Culturally, there hasn't been anything too bad, but I mean, you've got your two leads who are lecherous. Well, I wouldn't say Spader's lecherous. He's just very open and upfront about how he's a hedonist, basically. And then Denny Crane, lecherous. 100%.
Right.
Well,
Did you jump straight to Boston Legal, or did you do the last season of The Practice?
Didn't do the last season of The Practice.
That's where he starts.
That's what I'd heard. Okay. Wasn't 100% sure. Specifically because when it comes to a lot of those kinds of procedural shows, I'm interested in the characters, but not melodrama surrounding the characters.
Fair enough.
And that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of the shows that I don't like, because I don't want to watch a soap opera. And if it has soap opera elements,
soap?
a little bit.
Watch soap always.
I haven't seen soap since I was a kid, because that used to be one of the ones that would come on, and I liked all of the actors on it, and so I would just sit there and watch it. I didn't understand it at all, but I liked it.
It's on MeTV, so
It's so fun.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I need to see if I actually have MeTV somewhere on something, because that's the problem. Cut the cord. I don't know what it's on. So I've been missing my Svengoolie. But
dude, we just did Attack of the Killer Tomatoes like last week.
Nice. But see,
look, you've been asking for it for years. We finally got it.
But I did find that Elvira, there is a Twitch channel that basically just streams 24/7 Elvira. So there's that.
Cool.
As well as Cinema Insomnia and a couple others. So it's great. So I can pop in at any point in time, and I got myself a classic old screwy movie. But I've just been enjoying, Boston Legal and some of the really cool ethical quandaries that come up and whatnot. And my favorite part about going back to watching a show that's either from the 90s or the mid-early 2000s is getting to see all of the cameos and from a lot of these people that were early in their career,
Right.
It's one of the things that I loved about going back to some shows where like you would see Nick Offerman pop up in a bunch of stuff. He was always in just about everything, and you'll just be watching and be like, wait, is that, hold on, and then you got to IMDb it, it is, and like especially seeing Stashwick, who we adored in Picard as the other captain that was just like,
Yes.
just a mechanic grease monkey from Boston or whatever the hell he was. But so watching that and seeing Shatner as Denny Crane, seeing him being the legend as Shatner is, and Kirk was, and all this stuff, but then having to actually deal with some of the issues that he has had to as he's gotten older, and not wanting to tarnish his legacy as he's slowly starting to slip a little bit, and not like be able to act like the legacy, but maybe not be as confident in the legacy. It's so awesome to watch. It's fascinating, and I'm loving it. So I'm really enjoying going back through that little piece of history. And so, just kind of also basically finding all sorts of fun little things to watch to keep up the dopamine as we move into such uncharted territory as we are now historically. So do what we must. Anyway, that's been my Geeky Sweet.
Sweet. So, I also got, because my kid loves just buying me random games that run on sale like mad on Steam. They did a remaster.
Our little younger kid, our older kid.
Yes. They did a remastered version of The Thing back in December. This is the game that was on the original Xbox.
No.
So if you've seen The Thing, you've watched the movie, they sent out a call for help. Well, you are the people that show up to see what the hell's going on.
Oh.
And thus the story continues from that aspect.
Oh, no.
And it was a damn fine game. I enjoyed it immensely when I played it all those years ago on the Xbox. So now I started playing it again in the brand new remastered version. Though it's weird because, the control scheme hasn't really changed for the modern era. So it's weird how there's no jump button. Which kind of throws you in your modern day gaming, so it's a little strange. I don't know why. I've read a few comics, but I only have Absolute Superman #2 written down, and they've got an Absolute Superman and Absolute Batman out right now. And DC, seriously, I'm a fan of the multiverse and everything else, but if you're going to keep relaunching these guys, you got to pick one of them. You got to pick one of them. That's got to be the one that you got to go with, because this is a fascinating take on Superman. But can you really? How long is this gonna last? Can you run 4 or 5 concurrent Supermans of different, universes? I have no idea. I haven't the slightest idea. Severance, yes, it's back. I was so happy when I saw that it was back. Holy hot damn, that show is just such a weird little mind play. I watched a season 1 of a show. Apparently, it's back from like 2013 or something. It's called Peep Show.
Yes, Mitchell and Webb.
Yeah, Mitchell. Yeah, the two most awkward people you'll ever meet are roommates and their misadventures. Is about the only way I can describe that. Including a wonderful episode where this girl he likes, he kind of accidentally convinced her he was a Nazi. It was completely an accident.
Yeah,
it really was.
We seem to have a lot of that going around.
Things just happen. The weird thing is, in this stupid show, it was so much more believable.
Yeah.
It's like, okay then. So I watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because I had not seen the latest one yet, and I've seen it. Okay, I think it's the weakest of the new Planet of the Apes movies.
The effects are still
the effects are tremendous. The effects are quite tremendous. Story-wise, I was like,
I missed
okay, you're trying to move us along to get us to the Planet of the Apes. Okay. I think at this point you can just go ahead and do a new set of them if you want to. That's fine. I don't think anybody's going to mind. Go ahead and do it. It's fine.
I'd rather watch Hanging with Dr. Z.
That's true. Oh, Dr. Z.
Happy Dr. Zayas.
It's where Dana Gould actually has the full Dr. Zayas gimmick from the 60s movies, and he does basically like a 70s talk show with comedian guests.
Yeah, it's goes with Dr. Zayas.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. It's gorgeous.
I've also watched the FX series Grotesquerie.
I was going to, and then I realized it was Ryan Murphy. And I thought, never mind.
But see, Ryan Murphy was kind of why I was like, oh, well, then I kind of do need to see it, because I'm sorry, but I did love Feud, and I'm sorry, but I like American Horror Story. I'm sorry, but there it is. So Grotesquerie, Niecy Nash, in a straight up hardcore dramatic role
from Reno 911.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. She is a lead detective in this town, and she is called to a murder scene that is one of the most out there murders things you're ever going to find, because the entire family is sitting at their table. They are dead. And apparently the dad was ground up and cooked, and the family was forced to eat him. And they were literally scared to death until their hearts stopped. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are other murders that happen, and they all have some kind of sort of religious, imagery. Icon. What's the word for icon?
Iconography,
Thank you. I could not think of how to
God.
say that word at all.
symbolism.
And then the thing that's really going to flip you out is when the nun shows up. The nun, who is a true crime reporter for a church newspaper, and apparently her stories are getting more people interested, and they're buying the paper, and more people are coming to church. So
Nancy Drew.
yeah, so it becomes the buddy cop of Niecy Nash as an alcoholic detective who's divorced her husband, who is now in a coma, teaming up with a nun that writes true crime stories for a church newspaper.
Oh my God, I'm so tired of that trope.
But then something happens.
Oh,
Because they kind of rub it in your face as to who the killer has to be, and you're like, well, wait a minute, we're a little early to you doing that. It's kind of strange. And in season 6, she does shoot the killer, but we don't get to see the face. However, we determine in the next episode that yes, that's who the killer is. However, in episode 7 of Grotesquerie, the show kind of pulls back a curtain, if you will, and lets you know that the show you were watching this whole time is not actually what this show is.
And that's why I hate Ryan Murphy.
But no, it's this great it's this curveball. It's incredibly odd, and then seeing the show that you watched through this new filter of reality is somewhat fascinating. So, can I say it's great? No. Can I say it's a pretty damn good time? Yeah, I think it's a pretty damn good time. I think folks will have fun with that. I think you should. Carol.
How was Travis Kelce? Wasn't he in it?
I guess, sure, maybe.
Yeah, you just didn't really notice.
I don't know people. If they're not hot on my radar, I don't know them. Travis Kelce. I'm guessing he plays the attendant guy from the.
He's a football player, so.
I know he's a football player.
Okay.
Kelsey Grammer?
No. No, I'm thinking he played the attendant guy. So for his role, for what he.
hope Kelsey Grammer's not dating Taylor Swift.
Courtney.
Oh, for
Vance,
God's sakes, Niles, pass to me. I'm open.
Courtney B. Vance is in it. He's really good. So
true.
Yeah, no. I think the episode 7 alone is kind of worth it. There were some people that lost their mind at episode 7, but oh well, they can deal with life and whatever other comics I read. But yeah, that's kind of it.
The wonderful Billy Flynn looks at what Chad and Abby are up to now. If you know what TV show they're on this week, you could win yourself a prize. It's your further adventures of Chad and Abby update. A man is pulled from the water with no memory and keeps repeating 2 words that I just can't tell you. Because it's the show. He's given the name Chad and becomes determined to remember his life, but realizes he's targeted for assassination. And Chad's reunited with people who claim to be his parents and his fiancée, but they're not really who they say they are. And at a college in New York, Chad engages in experiments to overcome amnesia and has got to share a dorm room with students and earn his keep by working shifts at campus security. But there's protesting students, so he's a bad guy, and it's, what the hell ever. Stefan, a man of the cloth, may have some insight when he realizes Chad looks like someone in a painting that he saw. Chad gets nowhere with the NYPD, so he decides it's time to be moving on. Stefan tells the story of the miracle in Soho and the Holy Terror. Will Chad ever discover the secret meaning of the crown sapphire, the chaplet dejected, the horn lapis lazuli? Hashtag Jabby forever.
Looks like
What was that last word?
IAZULI. Is
Lapis Lazuli?
Yes, so there you go.
Okay, I only know that from Minecraft.
That's exactly where God, I just gave it away for everybody. It's the Minecraft TV show. God damn it, Rich.
Was it really?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know there was one.
Wow.
There's a movie coming out.
You just say it.
Looks
believe
terrible.
It's entirely possible. I mess stuff up all the time.
Howdy, geeks. I've also been a Neil Gaiman fan for a long time. It was a doorway for me to other arts of geekdom as well. And the article you talked about was simply a horrible read to have to go through. I mean, this one really hurt, and I wish I could stop learning how terrible people are that I truly enjoy. So look, if you folks have some terrible secret out there, please do not let it come out. Thanks. That is from Steven. Well, Steven, I told you mine wasn't. I've got nothing. No, Neil Gaiman is so
Guys, my lawyer advised me that I need to get ahead of this story. There's a lot of people out there that enjoy this. I'm not alone in this world. I don't know where it came from. It could have been from my childhood. I don't know. But I enjoy pineapple on my pizza.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I feel like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders.
You be you. Greetings, GRD crew. I know it's been a while since I've jumped in on one of these. Life has been very busy and I haven't had time to do any research. I rarely have seen any of these and always have to rely on the clues. I had meant to chime in on a couple, including the Angel from Hell last time, but couldn't get to it by the time the next show was happening. This time, the clues were direct enough and I have just enough breathing room to jump on it. Chad and Abby are on Away. I don't know if anybody remembers the show Away.
Nope.
No, I didn't either. It was something I'd never heard of before in my entire life, so it was like, huh? What are we talking about at this particular moment? I didn't know, and I guess in the end of the day, it simply did not matter in the slightest because that's what it was. But yeah, there was some show called Away. I don't remember when it was on. I don't remember anything about it. I forgot that that's what it was until I read this particular email, but that's just the way that life goes sometimes. It's weird, it's strange, and I don't have to know because that's just how it is. So, also, I've been aware of the audio meme of the repetitions of To Be Fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
In various versions of posh accents, but have never known the origin. My stepson and I recently started watching Letterkenny for the first time, and this popped up on the show. Is that where it came from, or are they referencing the same audio meme? Please help if you can. Cheers. That is from, wait for it, it's been gone forever. Jay Radimus decided to write back again, so there it is.
Jay Radimus, I wish you weren't so freaking awkward there, bud.
I mean,
give your balls a tug.
I know it's particularly famous now because of Letterkenny, but I don't think that's from Letterkenny. I don't know where that is originally.
I thought it was.
Is it? Because I remember friends of mine doing that before, but to be fair, just this kind of, I just seem this is something that I think's just been happening, and I don't have any frame of reference for it.
Maybe it's just been a big cultural thing, but for folks that it wasn't in their area, Letterkenny brought it to the surface, you know?
That could be it, exactly.
Just like The Office ruined That's What She Said.
Which I used to say all the time, years before that show was ever on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Wayne's World where that started?
To be fair?
So that was just a thing people said. No, that's what she said.
What she said. I thought it was just a stand-up comedian thing.
Yeah, I mean that definitely. I mean, may have been Wayne's World, to be honest.
Well, it's time I gotta get back and watch Wayne's World and do some research. Yeah. If anybody absolutely knows, you should just tell us. It's podcast@geekradiodaily.com, or of course you can send a voicemail. You could send a text message to
510 GRD crew, and I promise I'm checking the number. I'm checking the voicemail. I'm checking the text messages.
That's her subtle way of telling you need to send messages to there, because if you don't, they want to take our phone number away. So please send us some messages, won't you? That would be so great if you would. If you would, it would just be, it's we just can't deal with it any other way. I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Deal with it.
Okay, you know what it's like. You're flicking through Amazon or the local DVD shop, when suddenly you discover a film that you haven't seen in years, but which you remember as being legendary. A purchase is hastily made, you invite friends over, make popcorn and settle down to watch this classic. But then it becomes apparent that your mind has double-crossed you, and that this film is frankly awful. Soon your friends have deserted you, your boss says he has to let you go, and even your dog won't come when you call. How did it go so wrong? Well, in the interests of public harmony, a new podcast, I Saw That Years Ago, sets out to watch the old films that your memory has convinced you are brilliant, but which in reality could be anything but. So join me, your host Martin Darkley, and my compatriot, Gentleman Joe, as we watch the old films so you don't have to. Find us at www.isawthatyearsago.com or on iTunes.
It's Friday night, and I swear that unicorns are tap dancing in the moonlight. Come play Jackbox with Geek Radio Daily, and maybe Flynn will juggle a marshmallow.
It's entirely possible. So you should come join us tomorrow night, because we don't do something on a Friday, so I know kind of those are all wrong now. But yes, we play Jackbox every Friday night. You should come join us live on Twitch. You can join the audience. You can mess with people. It's outstanding.
I'm not wearing any pants. Come on at 11.
Geek News!
The world from a geeky point of view.
This week, in fact, today, as of Thursday, the Video Game History Foundation makes its digital library available to the public, offering free access to a vast collection of materials that highlight the history of video games. The foundation has spent years gathering essential game-related documents, source code, art assets, promotional materials, and more, many of which are rare and hard to find. These resources are key to understanding the evolution of video games. The digital library is accessible through the Foundation's website, allowing anyone to explore these materials. This marks a significant step in making gaming history more accessible to researchers, developers, historians, and enthusiasts who want to learn about the medium's development. While the library is free to access, the Foundation, of course, encourages donations to support its ongoing preservation work. With the gaming industry rapidly expanding, maintaining accurate historical records is more important than ever. And now I'm going to go find a strategy guide so I can finally defeat. Words are hard. I'm going to try that line again. Billy, edit this out.
Sure.
And now I'm going to... I know he's not going to. And now I'm going to find a strategy guide so I can finally defeat Bayou Billy. I'm coming for you, Godfather Gordon.
But did they go dig up a copy of E.T. from the landfill?
Dude, I love that game. Man, I played...
That was so boring.
It was such
God.
a stupid game.
Stupid game.
But I would...
Fell down to hole.
I played that game so much because in my autistic brain, I was like, this must be a playable game. So I must figure out how this game is supposed to be played. There is no reason why they would release a non-playable game. So I played it so much, and I actually got pretty good at it. I could actually, I figured it out, and I had a lot of fun with it. But I actually want to go see if they have the old MASH game.
Oh, Lord,
which was basically just, you helicopter, you bring it down, and then you go play, Operation.
They tried to let you do an operation on an Atari 2600. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting thing.
And then you got to, put on a dress and then possibly go chase nurses around. It was lovely. Making all sorts of sarcastic jokes. I loved it.
Well, speaking of surgery and operation, we finally have the first look of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein that actually shows us a cast member in action. In it, we see Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein himself. He seems to be holding a vial of something mysterious, and he looks, well, scarily good. We're very excited to see more from this one, but in the meantime, we're pretty content with just this one picture. There's a whole article written about this.
Wow.
It's real, look!
Although, if this first look image from Netflix's Frankenstein is so good, imagine how incredible a full trailer will be, or better yet, the whole film. Imagine how long that article will be. It's been a good year for the Universal Monsters. It's January. It's January. How are they having a good year? Wolfman's not doing that great, honey. Were they nominated to Trump's cabinet? for fish and wildlife? Vince Gilman.
Administrator of Fire Bad. Frankenstein's monster.
I would actually be okay with that appointment if Gilman was the fish and wildlife director.
That's true.
That would be an interesting, session of Congress, though. So, Frankenstein, you want to run? No, Frankenstein monster! Anyway, it's been a good year for the Universal Monsters, and we are fairly certain that Guillermo del Toro's take on Frankenstein will not let us down. This image makes us all the more certain. Who is Oscar Isaac's Dr. Frankenstein talking to in the first image look of the movie? We don't know. What's in the vial he's holding? We also don't know. But is his vest corseted and cinched? Hell yes. And to that, we have to say, good job, Guillermo del Toro. So far, everything we've seen from this movie, which granted is only 2 images, looks lush, intense, and incredible.
World's better than.
Cheers to you, Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, and Dr. Frankenstein. We feel like this Netflix movie is going to be good. And we only have to wait until November to see it on Netflix.
Yay!
Yay. But yes, he does look very good in his cinched and corseted vest. I mean, it's Oscar Isaac. How bad can he look? I mean, maybe the one Frankenstein movie where I'm rooting for the doctor rather than the monster.
Oh, Kenneth Branagh is sad.
Oh.
Goes Gene Wilder.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Excuse me.
Hey, no, I kind of loved Peter Boyle better.
Excuse me. That was Frankenstein.
Ah, fair
Right,
enough.
right. Adjacent. Right. Well, I've got some interesting tech news, especially if you think about geeks like to go to Atlanta for Dragon Con. There's a big step forward coming in driverless vehicles. Yes, we're really getting there. Waymo is launching its fully driverless robo taxi rides to their employees first. Their employees are going to be the first step to test it out. An important step before the company opens the service up to members of the public later in 2025. So maybe in time for Dragon Con. So they're pushing into new markets. The company closed a $5.6 billion Series C round, a $45 billion valuation. A lot of heavy hitters in this invested, right? They plan to test in 10 new cities this year with like San Diego and Las Vegas on the list. When they officially launch their commercial robo-taxi service in Atlanta, it will be exclusively via the Uber app. They also plan to launch together in Austin this year. This comes after Elon Musk said that Tesla would start a robo-taxi service in Austin in June. I would much rather ride in anyone else's robo-car, even though all of them sound like they're just kind of like, ooh, I don't know about this. But at the same time, if I wasn't going very far, I think the novelty of it would be kind of cool. You know, it's got proximity sensors, etc. But I mean, we may not have flying cars quite yet, and that's sort of what sci-fi had promised us. But you know, I wish almost that they would put like a robotic, like butler or some kind of something actually driving the car.
You just want a Johnny Taxi from Total Recall.
I do, but I don't know. I'm worried that this is going to be bad, but I think like all tech stuff, it's got to be kind of bad at first. And I mean, if it's not, you know, the actual leaders of our country who are trying to take us out, it'll be, you know, AI and the robots. So get in your car and see where it takes you. It may take you someplace cool. It may take you somewhere unexpected, but yeah, it's coming and to a real consumer market in 2025.
It may take you straight into a wall because I've seen Upload.
Well, now
we all know that was a bad guy who hacked the system, but you know, these systems, of course, they won't be hackable by bad guys.
Of course not.
Oh, of course not.
The good guys who are the bad guys will do it.
Me personally, I'm looking forward to Elon's driverless cars coming out in 2018.
So Universal Studios Fan Fest Nights, it's back, and Universal Studios Hollywood's got some Star Trek food, bringing uniquely bizarre drinks and much inspired, but not just Star Trek, different fandoms. I mean, this year they're going to have stuff from Star Trek, One Piece, Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers, Harry Potter, Back to the Future, Jujutsu Kaisen, and even Dungeons and Dragons. But thankfully, there will not be any snacks from Santa Clarita Diet, Hannibal, or Black Mirror. But to really give you a unique, universal, creative moment, they're offering you the chance to sample the Seti Eel Margarita. Yes, the Seti Eels that were in Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan.
Do you pour the margarita in your ear?
That would be great. There's actually a cup, and there's actually a little eel on top of your drink. The margarita, you know, it makes sense because tequilas have worm in the bottle for the better flavor, but the Trek Universe version comes with a hint of that ear-crawling danger, which means, yes, it's got an eel that would love to burrow into your skull. And I know I can't wait to try this at the event, and we'll certainly let you know if it's ear-bleeding spicy, and lets you know how awesome it feels to have your cerebral cortex squeezed passionately. Other Trek dishes include the Klingon targ legs in a hearty rice bowl.
I was going to say,
And you can grab a dessert like the Tribble Truffle Trio, which has an amazing effect on the human nervous system. So enjoy some delicacies that no one has ever eaten before. Maybe they'll let us have a jumbo Romulan mollusk chowder, marinara and gok, yes, or the rarest food in the universe, scrambled eggs. But not Riker's recipe. GRD is licensed non-commercial, non-direct. United States 3.0 license. Check us out on Facebook and on Twitter, and stop by the website at geekradiodaily.com.
Does that triple dessert come with like a hairball chaser or something to help you?
Anything as hairy as that dessert at all ever. It's just kind of strange.
Yeah, freshly combed.
You take one bite and 2 bites appear. It just keeps growing and growing.
Listen, if you want to give me some blood wine, damn it, okay? Screw your little triple thing. No, thank you. I don't.
Romulan ale. Yeah, that could be
I
good.
mean, come on. Just give me a bottle and a straw.
So yeah,
I want those little cubes that Sulu was eating in where No Man Has Gone before. I don't know what they were, but I want those little Play-Doh cubes.
And I swear to God, Chekhov better not give us that eel thing from SETI.
Yeah, that sucks. See ya this week, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Damage averted. All systems operative.
I'm confused.
Look at this cat.
All I hear from you spineless cowards, is how poor you are. You can't afford my taxes, my protection. And yet somehow, you've all managed to find the money to hire a professional gunfighter to kill me. Where's all this money coming from? What am I to think? If you got so much to spare, I'm just gonna have to take some more off you. Because you clearly haven't got the message. This is my town. You live to see the dawn is because I allow it. I'm in charge of everything. I decide who lives or who dies. Your gunfighter's dead. Old news.
God, the birdcage was so good.
All right. It was.
That was Unforgiven, wasn't it?
Eyes, yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Unforgiven or Quick and the Dead. I couldn't.
That's Quick and the Dead.
Oh. He's basically playing the same character.
Sam Raimi's Western, yes.
Yes.
And that wonderful shot, that second gunshot, where we see from the back of the gunfighter's head, and he's shot complete through his head, so there's a hole in his head as we see Gene Hackman standing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
I got to go back and rewatch that.
Should not have worked under any circumstances. But and God, what a cast! Gene Hackman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sharon Stone,
and Russell Crowe. Yeah.
Russell Crowe. God, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie. So happy birthday.
Speaking of, I forgot to talk about Gladiator 2. I'll do that next week.
Forgot, huh? Forgot, huh? Oh, that's right. I did go to that movie, huh?
Viv, thank you for the follow.
If ever a movie screamed out for a sequel, that door they left open at the end of Gladiator. That's the one.
I just want to know how we got from "My name is Maxis Decimus Meridius," husband to a dead wife, father to a dead son, to "Hey baby."
Jeez.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff each and every time.
I'll talk about that next week, though. Come back and listen.
Oh, I also forgot. Happy Martyrs Day, everybody. So if you ever know and respect it ever took a bullet for you, today's the day to lay down a flower for them. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't make up these days.
I didn't know that was the day, but it makes sense that it would be.
Dude, everything has a day.
That's true. Every
dancing on
dog.
Mother's Day. I'm sure there's a Bring It On Day.
Excuse me, ma'am?
Oh, it's already been brought in. It was last week.
It's already been brought in. Oh, tired, y'all. It was a day.
Yeah.
It's been a year, and it's only January.
How many months
It
are in
feels
this
like January 74th.
I have no flipping clue how many months are in this month. It's just crazy. It's weird.
How many weeks were in this week?
Mm.
Oh my God.
575,600 days.
You know when that happens? Like on Tuesday, I thought it was Wednesday.
Yeah. Normally, I only get that between Christmas and New Year's, where I have no idea what day it is. It's do I work or don't
I knew I was just off by a day. I just added a day to my life. Oh, hi, kitty cat.
Yeah, she's right.
Is it finally settled down because you're holding it?
The one I settled is Persephone, and she's settled. This is Nyx. She knows I'm on the computer, so she's got to come say hi.
Yeah, you can let her say hi. You can hold her, let her roam around, whatever you want.
Did you turn a TV on with like a YouTube channel that has birds
yeah. Persephone watches her stories, which is chipmunks and birds.
But she doesn't try to like paw at the TV or anything, right?
She's tried a couple of times, but generally she just sits and watches. Seriously, she just sits and watches. Artemis will come out and occasionally paw at the TV, and I have to go, "Oh no, Artemis!" And then she'll run into the windows to see where the birds went. But Persephone will watch. Nyx will watch occasionally, but if I'm on the computer, Nyx has got to be around, going, "Hey, what you doing?"
They are really cute. They are really cute cats.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I wasn't allergic. I think, allergies change over the years. Like, I have a neighbor who has a dog, and I pet the dog, and I was like, I don't know that I'm allergic to this dog. I don't know.
I used to be allergic to dogs and cats and had to have shots and everything like that as a kid. It was so bad. But, I mean, I've been living with cats for the past, 10 years. No problem. So it is something that you can grow out of.
So
no, we're still not getting a pet.
Has everyone looked at the calendar to realize what happens next?
Say that again?
Looked at what?
Everyone looked at the calendar to realize what happens next.
No.
Are we on like the 14th?
We are. Our next
Geekies week is the 14th?
It's the 13th.
It's the 13th. I thought the 14th was like...
It's a Friday. So the 13th is the Thursday. February 2025.
Yeah, because tomorrow
looking
is
at
the
a calendar
31st.
right now.
Well, that's weird because tomorrow's the 1st.
No, tomorrow's the
31st.
There's 31st
January.
In January.
And you have 94 meetings tomorrow. Thanks, April. That's a Parks and Rec reference.
Right? I got that one. March 31st. That's a good one. I need to add, that reminds me, I need to add the data validation because we're out of weeks.
Oh, God. So let's wrap this up and go do that. Cool, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.
It's pretty geeky.
Yeah.
It has
Validation.
Viv, we're glad you finally found us. We adore you. We certainly hope we do these. We do the live stuff every 2 weeks. So every other Thursday, and then of course Billy streams Jackbox on Fridays.
Oh, you can go play Fridays. Yeah.
On Fridays, you and Chooch are, well, I don't know about, I can't say necessarily for Chooch, but you are definitely invited to play. No, of course, you and Chooch are invited to play. But yeah, so just ping Billy. Yeah, you can tell him I said that.
Yeah.
Or me.
I touched your boob once on accident. But it was drunken time. She sat on my lap when she fell over, and I reached to make sure she didn't fall off, and apparently I grabbed a boob.
Likely story.
I immediately, it's true because I immediately.
Now it's all coming out. It's all coming. Neil Gaiman time. It's Neil Gaiman time.
Not let us find out, okay? Goddamn it, man.
You know it's true because I immediately jerked my hand away. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but next week, 25 women will talk about how Rich accidentally helped them when they fell in his lap.
No. No.
But yeah, just ping Billy, and so that way, I don't know why I'm looking at chat as if I'm speaking directly to you when I can look at the camera and look much more like I'm speaking to you. I am so out of practice on streaming, Jesus Christ. But yeah, just ping Billy over there, and he can get you set up if you guys are available for that.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Jeez Louise.
And then, yeah, I'll be recording all of next week, so stuff will go up. I know I've been like lax, but January's been a slow month, and quite frankly,
You're allowed to do stuff you need to do, Carol. It's totally
and my brain has been like, I don't want to
fine.
I don't want to function in the world right now.
Brain thing.
Brain bad.
Crazy brain. Funky.
But I will be bringing back tea and tomes.
Cool.
So.
Yay.
Because I'm reading again.
Yeah, that's
and actually
good.
finishing books.
Nice.
Yeah. I've started a new series that I forgot to talk about, so I'm saving that for my Geekiest Week next time.
Yay.
Nice.
They're reading?
Now I'm going to find to watch that nobody else watches.
All right, guys, I'm very sleepy, so I'm going to shut the stream down.
How dare you?
Bye, Viv. Love your face. And everybody else, love your faces too. But for now.